Hello, I'm Sean McAngus, and welcome back to another episode of the Highland League Podcast. Today's guest is Buckie Thistle's General Manager, Stephen Shand. He speaks about how the role came about, gives insight into what it's like to work full time for a football club, Buckie's magical Scottish Cup run, which led to a clash against Celtic at Celtic Park, the club's connection to Matt Damon and Stephen King, Highland League football in general, and much more. Hope you enjoy this interview.
So first off, Stephen, so what would you say were your kind of earliest memories of Highland League football watching it?
Earliest memories. I've got a very faint memory of Jim Leighton playing at Devon Vale. I'm a Macduff lad, Sean, as you know, and so it was Devon Vale I went to watch. I have a faint memory of Jim Leighton playing at Devon Vale because being big Aberdeen fan, dad a big Aberdeen fan, we obviously knew who he was. So I remember him being there, and then I guess from there it would have been playing. After that, it would have been playing in it in the youth league.
Yeah, so
Uh,
what position did you play?
I was probably a wide right or up front. Sure, I would have been a striker or wide right normally. I did play right back for a while at school, and with different boys for a while. But aye, that would have been normally wide right, I would say.
Yeah, ever opportunity to move in terms of Highland League or you know
Well, I did take a brief couple of games, and that would have been about 92, 93 season. That was Neil McClelland. Remember, it was there for
yeah, yeah,
he
correct,
was
yeah.
there for Kincorth. He came for Kincorth and was quite a character. So I had two games, Inverness Thistle, interesting enough, and Cove Rangers. A couple of games I was on the bench for the Vale while I was playing for Devon Vale Youth.
Yeah.
Had a good spell with Vale Youth playing actually up top with Craig Stewart, former Vale manager.
Oh
I
yeah.
really enjoyed playing with him. Very skillful, intelligent football player. So that was certainly enjoyed playing with him, and it was quite a decent Vale youth team. Got through to I think it was like the fourth round or something of the Highland Youth Cup. I remember that playing against Brecon at Devon Vale at
Yeah.
Princess Royal, and it was quite a good crowd and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. But that was just my brief sojourn into Highland League. I'm afraid it was just those two sub appearances. Stuart McPherson was there, and Dippy was there. It was Dippy's first season. It
Oh
was Steve
yeah.
Dolan, so it was it's quite funny to look back and see, and then how things went on for the likes of Dippy from there.
Yeah. Did you ever think you were going to get kind of opportunity to kind of work in football?
To work in football, not like this. Certainly not then. I wish I had. I mean, I think if I had my time again, I'd do the journalism thing.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy the report and kind of been doing it for it's about 11 years now for the P&G and various other outlets, and we had the HFL hub through my work for a while as well. So I think if I had my time again, that's what I would have done at the start, and gone into the football journalism if I could.
Yeah.
So I've ended up I did it a different way eventually, but no, I didn't think I didn't really I didn't do brilliantly at school, didn't do as well as I should have, and college didn't go that brilliantly either. I sort of just did it because I needed to do something, and then ended up in a job and just went on from there. But I think if I had my time again, I would definitely went down the journalism route.
Yeah, so what are your kind of any kind of favorite memories in terms of your football reporting days? Obviously, you've done a lot of different matches and
Um, Favorite from the reporting.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I had a good bucket memory quite early on, surprise, surprise. But it was at the start of Spider's success. It was his first trophy he'd won, and it was a fantastic game. I remember I did a preview for the programme for Mark Simpson at Fraserburgh, because it was the Aberdeenshire Cup final at the Hawks, Cove against Buckie, November 2016 it was. And Cove were 2-0 up, and Buckie had Craig Dorrit was sent off for kissing somebody in the forehead, and I think the ref had thought he'd butted him and got a straight red card. So it was like everything was going against Buckie, and it was 2-0 Cove, 5 minutes to go, and Buckie somehow um, equalised. Drew Copeland, I think it was, and Chris Angus definitely got the equaliser. And I just remember thinking at the start, and I do remember thinking at the start of that season, because Buckie had signed John McLeod and Sam Uckert, and to put them in with Chris Angus, I thought they're going to have a good front line. I just remember thinking that, again, I was getting a bit, I knew the Highland League by that point, so I knew sort of who was looking like they had a potential, but Buckie were far from favourites for that league title that season. But that front three were unbelievable. I mean, they got over 100 goals between the three of them. And I remember Buckie came back, unbelievable, came back to 2-2, and then won it on penalties. Squish actually scored the winning penalty. I spoke to him about that and did an interview before his testimonial. So that was a great memory because it was just an unbelievable cup final. And I just remember Spider coming upstairs. I was interviewing him with Dave Edwards, legendary Dave, and Spider practically bounced into the room upstairs at Turriff. And because we did interviews upstairs in the hospitality, and his enthusiasm was just unbelievable. Sorry, just get rid of that. It just caught you, and it was the same when I came to Buckie to start doing stuff. We'll cover that later, obviously. But yeah, that was fantastic. Cup final, another cup final. I think was that the same, possibly same. No, the season before, Wick had a really good side, and it was the Highland League Cup final up at Clach, up at Inverness, and I got to cover that one. And Cove absolutely destroyed them 4-0. I really felt for Gordon Connolly because there was nothing they could do. It was Darrell Nicol. He'd be one of the best players I've seen in the Highland League, without a doubt. He was absolutely unplayable. I mean, Cove were a good enough side anyway, because obviously they got promotion to the league soon after that. But Darrell Nicol, wow, what a player! And he just tore Wick apart. They were a good team, and Cove just blew them away. So that was a performance I'll certainly remember. I'm trying to think of any of the other earlier ones. That would be two standout Sean Cup finals. Brora, obviously, an outstanding team.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was 2014, so again, it was hard to see past them initially. And then obviously it was Cove, and when and different teams winning the league, it was just such an exciting league. It was great to be involved and cover.
Yeah, so in terms of, has there been any kind of Scottish Cup kind of, or people you've interviewed that you've kind of, it stood out for you in terms of
Oh,
characters or, or...
definitely got a Scottish Cup game. Sorry if folks to go back to Buckie again, but the 5-3 against Dunfermline the season after they won the league at first, that was an unbelievable game. Big real memory of that one is Kevin Fraser absolutely running the show. Despite Buckie losing 5-3, they played really well, and Kevin Fraser was playing against Nat Wedderburn, absolute giant for Dunfermline in the middle of the park. And Kevin was just unbelievable. Buckie played really well, but Dunfermline had did they have the little guy at was it Paul McMullen?
Yeah.
Oh, he was unreal. And he basically won it for Dunfermline. He scored a couple and must have set up a couple at least as well. Very difficult to contain. Just so quick. But yeah, so that's a very good Scottish Cup memory, and we'll go on to my best Scottish Cup memory, I'm sure, later first with Buckie. But try to think of any other who would be one of my best interviews.
Yeah. So moving forward a bit. So in terms of your obviously you got involved in doing the commentary.
Yeah,
Buckie. So what kind of led to that and how enjoyable was that has that been for you?
absolutely brilliant. Sure, it's something. I guess I did, just as a boy, I just loved football so much, and would follow the commentaries on the radio and stuff. And obviously, I'm not a I'm not a quiet lad, so the comedy suits me, I guess, in that way. I'm always able to speak plenty. But an advert just came up on Facebook, and it was like a commentator required for our live stream, and I was like, I think I could do that. And kind of I'd obviously been doing a reporting for a while. It was the beginning of 21, 22. In my first game, Daniel Farker spoke to Daniel Farker. Obviously said about I've been covering the Highland League. I know all the teams basically. So I'll know the players and think I'll be able to do it. So he gave me the gig. The first game was actually against Fraserburgh, who won the league that season at Victoria Park. 2-2 draw. Was a cracking game and really enjoyed it. And I just went on from there. Absolutely love the commentary. I mean, I was so lucky that I came along that August, and in October, the 23 game winning run started
Hmm.
against Forest in a midweek match. So, I mean, speak about your timing.
Hmm.
And still didn't manage to win the league somehow, which just shows how consistent Fraserburgh were. Unbelievable that season to still stop Buckie from winning it despite winning 23 league games in a row.
Yeah. So
So
how great is it in terms of, I mean, where you're positioned for the commentary
yeah,
is right in amongst everyone.
yeah.
So it must be a good laugh, to
It's so entertaining. 'Cause I've got the Buckie fans to your left, so you can still hear them though. But the best bit for me is if the opposition board and committee are sitting right in front of me. So the banter's fantastic. I try and be as as unbiased as I can. I like to think I am in a lot of ways, but it's difficult. I work for the club. It's
Hmm.
it's again they got me hooked in early with the style of football they played. It was fantastic to watch against, and then you're on a winning run like that. Of course, you're going to get sucked into it
No.
and fall for a team, which is exactly what happened. But yeah, the banter's tremendous in the Highland League. It really is, because can you go? You get the boarding committee and the volunteers to come, and you see them at every game when they come to see you, and you give them the hospitality that you get when you go there.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. And it got Nairn were here on Saturday. Great bunch of guys. We've got some new ones as well, but it's great going up there to Nairn. It's a place I really like anyway. But can you go there up to Wick? It's just fantastic. The league, it really is. I didn't realize. I think how much of a family league the Highland League is, and everybody that's involved at each club, and the hospitality they provide is superb. It's second to none.
Yeah. So in terms of the general manager role, how did you feel about it when you got offered the job and the opportunity?
Oh,
Yeah.
funny. It's funny how it came about. Graham Tallis was stepping back. He was retiring after 9 years doing the sort of director of football and all the commercial stuff. And it was after the business lunch in the May of that. It would have been would it have been that year? No, the year after the 22-23 season. So Tallis was retiring that summer. And we were speaking about it in Molly Malone's after the game. So getting several drinks afterwards. This was kind of business lunch starts at 12. This is about 8 o'clock. And I jokingly, because you didn't think you're going to get a full time job in Highland League level, you just
Hmm.
didn't. It's there's not many around at this level, and I jokingly said to Daniel and Dallas, I'll do it. He's a job and I'll do it for you. I'm fed up. I was fed up in the role I was in at the time. I've been doing it for 25 years. Very similar type of job for 25 years. I was ready for a change as well. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll work full time for you. and Talis just sort of stopped, and he almost like stopped him in his tracks, and he was like, "Interesting." And Daniel started speaking to me about it, and he was like, "I'll get back to you. Let me get back to you in about a month." And the phone rang one day, and it was Daniel, and going, "Can let's meet up and speak about this, and see if there's something here that we can do." And that was it. And oh Jesus, was I hyper? Oh
Mm.
my God! In the position I was in, I mean, it was Aberdeen Foy I was working for, and I'd been there 7 years. So a decent stint there, and it was a really great employer, great fulfilling job. But I'd been doing that type of work,
Aye.
came with young people and things like that for a long time. And I think I just done my stint 25 years with similar employability type work, engagement, that kind of thing. So I was ready for a change, and I was just so delighted, and to get a job in football was just wow. I was just absolutely thrilled, Sean. Absolutely over the moon.
Yeah. So how did you find the first few weeks adjusting to that? Because it must have been
Uh,
strange. Like,
It was it was definitely strange. I came up because I come up. I'm in Buckie most Tuesday to Saturday most of the time, and that's how we started it as well. Because it was did we start? It was July, so it was friendlies early on. And Alan Patterson was in the go. When there were fantastic volunteers, he had to step back recently because he's not able to commit to being here all the time, understandably so. But he's here quite a lot. Handyman, kit man, the works, just did everything, and a great servant to the club, as Sandra obviously is a fantastic tea lady and volunteer as well. Sandra, hoping she gets well soon. Sandra, shout out to you. Um, and they were around quite a lot. Granty, obviously,
mm.
I've got a great relationship, friendship with Granty, and his dog Bodie. It's absolutely love Bodie. He's definitely the club dog. So what a beast he is, fantastic. So they were here, but I mean it was a huge learning curve
Mm.
because people really didn't realise what is involved in running a football club, even at the Highland League level, at a part-time, semi-professional level. The amount of stuff involved is incredible, and that was a huge learning curve. Obviously, um, can the social media side, the fitness side, the reporting I already had, but there's so much more to it. And coming to the stage I'm at now, so 2 years down the line, and I just do everything. And and we've got a fans bar, so we've got a bar manager in there that runs that. Obviously, I get involved in that as well, and there's
Yeah.
all the commercial side of it, the hospitality on match days, your sponsorship. That's massive. It's just so huge, and Highland League clubs. And obviously, all football clubs cannot run without the support of their sponsors. So, huge thank you to them while we're on, for the likes of mains, coaches, Ocean Winds, and again, people that have recently come on board, like Planwell Roofing, have returned and sponsored the training kit. So, these things are massive for a club. And without them, the sponsors and the volunteers that help run the place, it would never work.
Yeah. So how important? I mean, obviously Buckie are probably one of the best supported teams in the league. How important is that in terms of season ticket and bums on seats? Every 2 weeks. When it's
Oh, also massive, Sean. Definitely one of the best supported teams, best away support in the league. I would say ourselves in Fraserburgh. No offence to anybody else. There's plenty of other well supported teams, obviously, but I would say that's the two best supported teams in the league for me. On what I've seen over the last 10 years and more. But everybody gets a shot. Again, it's all relative. If teams are successful, you'll get fans in. But Buckie fans are a huge part, obviously, of the experience, and they've taken me on board. Fair play to them. I'll obviously still get the odd Vale, you know what, or McDuff. I was getting pelters the other day in hospitality. Hospitality is great. It's great fun. The banter you get in there. Stephen Grant is a big one for that, and I'm sure you'll know he's well known in Buckie as a huge Buckie fan. He's good crack. But he was telling me I had to cut out the cove and the gauge shouts from the from Macduff. And my wife would definitely agree. She hates me putting cov in the end of sentences. So I mean, obviously I do it now for effect. Sean as well. I can't help myself. But you've got to try and you've got to adapt to your surroundings. But I must say, the Buckie fans have taken me on board brilliantly because they know my history. They know where I come from, so and followed Vale plenty in my past days as well. So they didn't have to. There's a big rivalry, as you know. So at times it was like, oh, how's this going to go? How's this going to go down? But I've still got a good relationship with the Vale. I'd like to think, and I knew Aaron Lorimer anyway, new chairman. Fair play to him. He's come in and taken that on board, and Vale are improving. They're improving things. So I've got nothing but good wishes for them as well. And Lauren, kind of got a new secretary, Stuart McPherson, what a legend. Finally stepped down after an unbelievable stint at Princess Royal. So hats off to them for they're still speaking to me, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think of all the players that have moved between the clubs, even going back to like
Exactly.
Mark Chisholm, there's tons there's tons of them.
Totally.
So you can't like most. I wouldn't say all players, but there's a lot of them that have played for Vale and Buckie.
Yeah,
No, but it is amusing. It
it
does.
is.
It's a good laugh as well. So
Absolutely. You need that.
yeah. So what in terms of obviously you also have club memorabilia and shirts.
Yeah.
How is that like in terms of sales? Do you get much sales from people living elsewhere, or what's the kind of?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting. I think a big selling point on that has been the Celtic game.
Yeah, yeah,
We've had a lot of people contact us from that are Celtic fans and have become, almost like pseudo Buckie fans following that game. I
yeah.
think the fact that we're both playing green and white hoops was a huge,
Aye.
a huge thing. We did actually ask. I don't know if everybody knows this, but we did ask to play in the green and white hoops,
Yeah.
and we're turned down for the game, which is fair enough. You can't argue with that. It is Celtic at the end of the day. So we did try, but that was a huge thing. And I tell you, you get a lot of visitors, especially in the summer. People
Mm,
up on holiday. It was two guys from Ipswich that were in here last Friday because they
nice.
were at the Dons friendly at night. But a lot of people come, I think, and see it and are impressed with the ground. And it's a cracking ground, Victoria Park. It's a big ground for the Highland League, I would say, for the level, and would probably have one of the biggest capacities. Certainly, back in the day, we did even more so. So yeah, we get again. I've had visitors from Germany. They're coming back actually in January. Can get in touch? Can we have another tour of your ground?
Nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, so also Bucky have a couple of you'd say famous fans, you can claim them
Aye.
in terms of Stephen King and obviously the Matt Damon.
Yeah.
In terms of awareness, how has that helped, in any way in terms of people or have you seen indirectly or directly, s- uh,
Aye.
benefits from those things?
It's bound to, especially Stephen King. I've
Yeah.
had more than one message about the link to Stephen King, especially when King had so much media attention. for a Celtic game. That was what the 2 weeks before that. Just wow, what an unbelievable time. But yeah, the Stephen King thing came up there definitely, and we've got a signed copy of that book from him.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing we're definitely going to put on display. And it kind of hurt having some in Stephen King. Jesus, to get what a famous writer. I didn't get much more famous in the writing world than him. So the link was fantastic. And it was just so random that he put it in. He
Aye.
just saw, I think he just saw the name and liked
Aye.
the name Buckie Thistle. So yeah, it's so random. And then Matt Damon, of course, the recent one where Marcus Goodall
Yeah.
met him down at Motion Fitness. He was coming in there, and it was like, oh, is he now? Interesting. Let's see if we can get Marcus to gift him a top. And of course, it just went nuts from there. Like
Aye.
I had one of your colleagues on straight on, and somebody had spotted him leaving, obviously, and then it was
Aye. The Buckie.
everywhere. So again, it doesn't do any harm, and it's always good to get publicity out there.
Yeah.
It's something that a club needs, because it gets people interested in your club, and then they do things like buy your strips, and
Mm.
any memorability that they sell in your shop or whatever you sell in the shop, and then it breeds even sponsorship opportunities that are likely to come for that, or you get featured on TV and things like that. So it's all good publicity, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Is there still, do you know if there's still a connection with Stephen King? Because there was always the suggestion that he was keen to come to a game, if you know what I mean.
Keen to come a game.
Yeah, I say in quote marks, like
Aye, definitely in the quote marks, Sean.
yeah,
There's nothing recent that I'm aware of. I know again. I got the book. Graham Tallis had it under safekeeping, so I've actually got that back. So I suspect we're going to showcase that, Sean. But I did it. I think we sent him stuff. Okay, we sent him we had a photo of him with a scarf on.
yeah,
And we sent him some other things as well. So it was much appreciated to get the book and the photo and the signed book back from him after we sent him things. So yeah, I mean it's definitely something that's in the background that we might explore again, because I kind of think there's obviously potential that anything could happen. And how amazing would it be if we had him at a game or
aye,
had him
so
had him
random.
at the ground? Wow.
Yeah,
I could tell him how much he scared the living daylights out of me with a couple of his books when I was a teen, when I was a young teenager.
yeah.
Jesus. So I mean, great writer. Still read his books now. So that would be unbelievable. It's maybe something I should look to do as part of my role, Shauna.
Aye, it's worth. I mean, people still mention it. Like
Yeah,
I've got pals who aren't into football who stay down the Central Belt. They were aware of
right.
it. Like,
There you go.
so it's like stuff like that. But no, it's always, I found it brilliant just because I was like,
Yeah,
just because it's like, it's always good when like more people are getting aware of the Highland League as a result of
yeah,
that. Like randoms, like people out with, you'd be surprised. I mean, you probably get the same with people messaging. Like, there's
yeah,
people who like follow my podcast who know of Highland League and they live in like America or
yeah,
random
yeah.
countries. Some of them it's more obvious because they're like offshore, but
Aye,
the other ones
yeah,
are like they're so random. Like I had someone in New York, and I was like, "Oh, how did you get interested in Highland League football?" And they were like, "Oh, I saw a book about Scottish football, and I saw the names of
yeah,
the teams and like
yeah.
the name of the teams." But it's
There is some pretty
bizarre.
decent names, isn't there?
Aye, there
Like,
is. Like it's just it's amazing. But
yeah,
one of the other things, obviously you mentioned it and you're wearing the top with it.
yeah.
So how great was the whole like Celtic Scottish Cup experience for yourself
Yeah.
being involved in at the club and
That was surreal. So it really was. I mean, it was madness. The 2 weeks before was just sheer madness. Um, the amount of media. Came had the BBC up here with ITV doing interviewing people doing the town, and had players along. We had I spoke on Radio 4, on Radio 2. Again, Radio Scotland. It was just it was just unbelievable, and the town was buzzing. It was great for Buckie. Kind of the amount of businesses and shops and that had kind your green and white stuff on display, and it must have just brought so much to the area. And then going, Celtic couldn't have been any more hospitable. I really can't say enough about how well the Celtic treated us. Again, some of us had access to all areas, passes, so you could just go wherever you wanted. And I'll tell you, the bit that got me. So we got there, got the passes, and we're putting the stuff into the dressing room and that. And I walked into the tunnel, and this was getting, no, it wasn't near kick-off or anything, but it must have been about 2 o'clock. And I'm standing in the tunnel at Celtic Park and looking at it, and there's heaps of Buckie fans already in the stadium. And I was just standing there going, I'm just a flipping ordinary guy from Macduff. I'm fitting the earth is going on here. It was just unbelievable. And Celtic just treated us so well. And I'm doing an interview with Jane. Jane, she was great for the BBC. Like at just half an hour before kickoff, the place was bouncing. It's like I'm getting interviewed by the BBC. It's just fantastic, man. Just absolutely loved it. And the performance the lads put in, they were brilliant. And didn't concede a goal for 25 minutes, and then didn't concede a goal only one goal in the last 40 minutes against a Premier League side, and it was practically their full team. They did fantastically well, and just the way we were treated. I went into the press box because I just wanted to, but the hospitality lounge was unreal. I was told I didn't get to sample the delights of in there, but it was just amazing. They treated us so well. Got into the Celtic dressing room after the game. Me and Leon Marandola, who's taken over as kit man from Alan Patterson, and does a great job as a volunteer as well. Does a lot for the club. We were standing. Lyle Keir came through because the players were all going through to get shirts signed. And we were standing there and going, oh, we can't go in, can we? We just work for the club. We're no players or anything. And John Kennedy was standing behind me. He says, come in, you come, lads. And so we went in with strips as well, and mingling with Celtic players. And it was just like, this is just mental. What is going on here?
Any players you remember speaking to? Any ones that particularly you're getting a chance to speak to?
Scales, Liam Scales. I had the cheek to mention the Dons because he couldn't help myself. Good loan spell at the Dons. Liam Scales, he did pretty well for quite a while, and so but I had a good chat with him. They were really good with us. I mean, there was no airs and graces. Kyogo, to put it harsh, he couldn't speak much English, but he was still really nice to us. Everybody signed our tops, and it was they went out of their way. Joe Hart, he was excellent with Leon in particular. Photos with us and stuff like that. And Brendan Rodgers, got to mention Brendan Rodgers. He did a fantastic thing with Daniel Strong, who is our legendary goalkeeping coach. 20th year, Desi's Strong at Buckie Thistle. What a stint that is. His son, Daniel, he took him into his office and everything and gave him stuff. So the way they treated us was just fantastic.
Yeah. Did you ever try and convince any of the players to start supporting Buckie? Did you ever get that plug in?
Get yourself up to Victoria Park, lads. Come on, we'll hear a return leg.
Aye.
Definitely mentioned that, but it's not happened yet. But there's time yet, Sean. Time yet.
There's still time. They maybe some of them, once they wind down their careers, they might get a pitch.
Exactly. Mr. McGregor up the road.
Yeah, get the play proper glamour game in the Highland
E-
League.
Exactly. You'll still get to wear the hoops.
Uh,
Well, you'll get to wear the hoops.
hmm. But no, it's just it was just brilliant. But when Josh Peters had that chance,
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
oh, I was like, you must have thought, there's a chance here when he had that.
Yeah,
So I thought he was going to bury it. I mean, that's
absolutely. I mean, squash the ball through was fantastic. Half volley,
uh,
first time half volley through. And it's like, he's away.
yeah.
And he almost had too much time, I think,
Hmm.
because it was quite far out when he started his run. It was a decent save for Joe Hart. But imagine that it went in. I
Yeah.
mean, the Buckie end really just erupted. And they were unbelievable as it was. 2,500 of them.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, again, they were telling you stuff like you're more fans there than some European teams had in the Champions League, and it's like, oh my god, just frightening,
Uh, so
frightening.
yeah, so hoping for an hour. If you can get a cup run, an hour glamour tie like that, then so you can
That
get
would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? It would
you
be
both.
fantastic. We got the fourth round again last year. Third round it was, sorry. Fourth is Clydebank beat us in the third round last year, so that would be great. Scottish Cup's fantastic. I mean, we had and even like Carluke Rovers we had up here last year, and you could see the experience they had
Hmm.
because they're down the levels in the west of Scotland, and it was a great experience for them, and they put up a great show. They were 1-0 up for a long time.
Yeah.
But the Broxburn one is the I don't think I'll ever be at a game a football like that again. Sean, I just didn't think you could repeat it. It just especially I suppose it's because what happened afterwards.
Hmm.
The result of getting through was Celtic, and Broxburn would have got Celtic as well because they would have been the same number in the draw, because it's alphabetical.
Yeah, yeah.
So usually you can say they wouldn't have got Celtic anyway because it doesn't work like that, but it
Uh,
did. It would have in that sense because Brock spun Buckie BRBU. But yeah, how we rescued that game in normal time and injury time with 10 men was just unbelievable because we had a walking wounded that day.
uh,
We had Louis coming off the bench, and he managed to get injured as well. Joe McCabe got injured in the warm up. Scotty Adams got sent off after 20 minutes. It was just like this is not happening. It's not our day. But equalised in the 8th minute of stoppage time, 7th minute of stoppage time in 90 minutes after 90 minutes, and then the 3rd minute of stoppage time in extra time. Wow, just incredible,
uh,
absolutely incredible.
it must have made it even sweeter with the Celtic thing, just the way you managed to
Yeah,
get through. That's
aye, it probably did. And you remember seeing the video of the players with the Christmas night out in
uh,
Edinburgh. Afterwards, we dropped them off, and the video of them was just hilarious. Again, it was just the pub on a Sunday night because it wasn't that busy, but it was just bouncing.
hmm,
Amazing stuff. Absolutely. I mean, because I remember I was sitting in the house with the wife, and honestly, I thought I was going to need a paper bag when Celtic's name came out. When Buckie's name came out, because it was Celtic first, obviously, and there wasn't many teams left.
yeah.
And I think it was down to the last six, maybe, or something. It was something like that, 6 or 8 left. And it said Celtic, and it's like number 8, number 8, number 8. And I honestly thought I was going to need. I was hyperventilating at the prospect. So I started in the July and went to Celtic Park in the January. It's not bad.
That's not the worst. Neither the worst. So, in terms of how do you find balancing all the different like tasks that you have to do? Obviously, stuff with you know paperwork,
Yeah,
SFA, stuff, registering, and are you
yeah,
involved with transfer or what
yeah,
are you involved with that as well?
yeah,
So
yeah.
how do you find things like that?
I mean, it's brilliant. Some days, I'll steer up my mates saying, "Oh, that was a hard day today playing football manager for real." Yes, and it's because it is. It's like you're emailing a club to put in a bid, or you're dealing with an offer coming in for one of your players. Then you go to the manager, you go to the board, and then you go back and it goes round and round. So
Yeah.
it is. It's like playing old flipping FIFA, whatever it is nowadays, FIFA 25 or something. But it's for real. But there's so much. I mean, geez, the Comet. I came in right in time for Comet last summer for doing, because Davy Perry stepped back, stepped down as secretary in January, but I really started doing the secretary, a lot of the secretary duties before that. So I was right at the forefront of the Comet stuff coming in, and that was quite a change. I suppose it worked out quite well for me because me being new and it was a new system. So at least I was there for the start. But as you know, and with everything else, a new system, nothing runs smoothly
Yeah.
to begin with, and there's still some issues. But I mean, hopefully it'll be good in the end, and it does feed the app now as well, Scottish football app that fans can get better updates. I think on what's going on with their club during a game. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty good for that. So, but yeah, you've got to do registrations. You've got your trialists. I've got the Section 7, which is when you've got to provide to the SFA and the Highland League your cover for things like your medical cover,
Yeah.
your PVG. And you're
Mm.
dealing with young players, under 18 players. So you've got to certain people at your club have got to have a PVG, and there's obviously the licensing. As you know, Bucky, we had a
Aye,
bit of
aye.
an issue with that at one point.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need to go there, but there's so much involved in getting a bronze license, so that's ongoing. Things are ongoing with that, showing it, and it's hopefully something that we will get to eventually and get our bronze license. So we're in a position if we win the league again to challenge for promotion and be able to go up. So that's ongoing. I mean, for an example, the stadium safety officer training that I have to undertake
Yeah.
is 900 hours,
Oh man. That's
and
tons.
I mean, how am I fitting that in? That's my at the moment. It's crazy. So, but I mean, it's something I'll be doing. At some point, and so that's a massive thing, and getting the doctor, and you've got to get a degree physio now.
Oh, do you? Yeah, is
Yeah,
that on you?
physio has to have a degree, so it feels like a lot of barriers, and more than's required really. Getting the SFA, I think they need to look at some of their procedures, and encourage more teams, especially from up here. Feels like, I have to be honest and say, it feels like they're nae encouraging towards teams in the north of Scotland
Hmm.
to join, because no, there's examples of teams that haven't had a bronze license that were in the league.
Yeah. True.
There was
Yeah.
5 teams without a bronze license when they refused Buckie into the playoffs. It's you got to watch. Obviously, kind of. I'm not wanting to obviously criticise too much, but it should be encouraged more. Ken Brora played East Kilbride after winning the league and had a great season last season. East Kilbride are going to be looking like they're going to be pretty progressive. Again, they had a fantastic result in the League Cup, winning at Wraith Rovers, who are, I think, a pretty good championship side. So East Kilbride, they've got good backing, obviously, which is very important as you go up
Hmm.
the leagues. Money wise, it's there, and they're speaking about moving stadiums, because the stadium they've got is now wouldn't be great. I don't think, for moving up the leagues.
Yeah.
But I saw Mick Kennedy tweeting a response around that recently about what they've got in place. So they're a progressive club, and they've obviously got a good squad that looks like it'll be challenging for promotion this season. So there's so much involved, Sean, and then when you add in, pretty proud of the amount of advertising boards sponsorship we've got.
Yeah.
I've built that up quite a lot, I would say, over the 2 years. We've got boards right around the ground. There's Park Monroe. Shout out to them for they're bringing 4 advertising boards today. Park Monroe builders. They've got quarries around the Buckie area, so they're coming on board with sponsorship, and so are Ritson's. They're accountants for a club. Ritson's have come in with training kit and obviously Planwell Roofing that I mentioned that were big backers of the club years ago and have came back again. So again, a big shout out to them and the likes of Mains and Ocean Winds and the numerous other sponsors that we have. But obviously that takes got to do invoices, all the invoices for them.
Yeah.
And again, getting myself out there to try and get more sponsorship, you've got to go around the local area. But it's great. I think that's a big thing. Getting local backers is a huge thing. Charlie Milne's a big backer as well for the club with his boards. He's got 12 sponsorship boards for his various businesses. You know, the Seafield Hotel, Regency Garage,
Yeah.
his building firms, that type of thing. The motion fitness. So a lot of boards that Charlie's got, another big backer of the club in that sense. So it's great to have local. I think an affinity with your local area. Buckie being a well supported side, you've got to have that connection with your community. So still building on that. The youth, I'm involved with the youth setup as well. And disappointingly, haven't got an under 21s or under 18 teams this season.
Yeah.
The under 18s fell by the wayside, sadly, at the end of last season. And a lot of them went on to play welfare football, and we hadn't managed to replace the coaches and such like that we had in running the under 18s. So that's something we would like to get back into the Aberdeenshire League and under 21s and the under 18s Highland League next season. Hopefully we can get back to that with local involvement again on the coaching side. We are trying. And there's people we've got in touch with that I wouldn't say any more at the moment with that until it's confirmed, but there is people we want to get back involved with the club. There's a clue for you there. That are very good in the youth side of things. And hopefully we can do that. And we'll have I'll keep that youth connection going because we've got the youngsters that get in that play for Buckie Development. They have season tickets to come in and watch every league game. So do the coaches. And we've had their under 13s played here. They played 2 games in May. And other ones we're hoping to get playing on at Victoria Park because the kids love that. I absolutely love coming in. I remember playing here as a youngster myself. It was actually the days of when the bath was in the change room. But when I go into how old I am, Sean, it's quite a while ago, definitely 30 odd years. But I remember playing here with the school actually, as well as Devon Vale Youth against Buckie Youth. So the youths have always been there's always been a great number of very good players coming through the youth system. But recent years, a lot of them have gone down to Devon Vale because they've got such a good youth setup.
Yeah.
And Buckie haven't managed to have that for whatever reason. And probably concentrated on the first team a lot more in recent years, I would say. But you've got to have that youth set up and promote players because then you wouldn't have to go and buy your Innes Mackay's and Harry Noble because they went to the Vale. In some cases, via the club as well. Harry was here before, Innes was here getting with the young ones, but they've went on and players that have come through the ranks and through the development football at Devon Vale instead of being at Buckie. My son's just about to turn 16, so his under 15 and 16 teams was full of Buckie players because they didn't have a Buckie team to play in. And it's not right to me. That's quite sad that's happening. And we need to get that up and running and have players coming through the system. You know, like yours from back in the day, like your Stevie Bruce, Maras, your Zico Davidsons, and shoot your Shoeins. that were locals and absolutely loved by the Buckie fans, absolute heroes. Your
Yeah.
Kevin Mains. You need these guys, and it's great to have more locals in the side as well. So we've got now Harry Noble, Marcus Innes, Finn Allen is a
Yeah.
great one to get because he's actually he spends a lot of time in his girlfriend's for Buckie, so spends a lot of time here anyway, and he's well known to a lot of the young lads through his coaching soccer school stuff. So
Yeah.
it's great to have that, and the Elgin lads obviously are pretty local as well. Ken Ross Morrison, Ross Patterson's a bit further away, but Dale Wood, Dara McCarty, Ewan Storrier, and there's heaps of guys that are coming for the Elgin area now as well, which is great to see. And you want that local connection. It's very important for me.
Yeah, so in terms of obviously you mentioned about the youngsters, but how important is it to like pick up like over the course of the years? There obviously you've seen
Yeah.
Jack Murray kind of bossing it with
Well,
Elgin, and then also Max Barry at Peterhead and stuff, and it shows that these players are more than capable of stepping up,
yeah.
and if they're given an opportunity at Buckie, they can. Um,
Good point, Sean. And I'll quote Spider and Lewis McKinnon for the Ken Buckie is those players you mentioned. Put Jack McKeever in there as well as going to Elgin. Um, Buckie has been really good for them, as well as them being excellent for Buckie. Jack Murray, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't move up the leagues. Can you hear pretty serious interest in him from teams higher up the divisions? Because Jack Murray, I mean, in his last season, 26 goals for centre half, he was an absolute colossus. And I tell you, a great lad as well. What absolute class. And his dad is, I really like his dad as well. They were big supporters in Les still comes because still comes to watch us when he kind of go to watch Jack. And I saw a lot of the lads at Squish's testimony. That was really good to see. So the recent lads that have left, kind of was Joe McCabe, Sam Pugh, but there's also Scotty Adams, Max Barry, Jack, and the two Jacks came down for the Elgin game straight there. It was just great to see. And they had a photo up, I think if you saw it, Sean, the photo up of the squad that Buckie had in 23, 24. Just wow. I mean, when you look at where they are now as well, you just think that was some squad. Wow. Jesus. Unbelievable players, unbelievable team.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see players like moving up a level because I
Yeah.
think people underestimate
Yeah.
the Highland League, and maybe in the past, your Elgins and Peterheads maybe didn't look at the Highland League as much as they should have.
Aye.
But
I
now
would
they seem
agree.
to be taking note. I think it helps if Alan Hale,
Yeah.
Elgin, so he knows, what
Knows the league
to
very
do.
well.
Yeah, so that's helped. Final couple questions. So any kind of favorite pies or food that's served at
Oh,
Buckie? Because I mean I love the I'm a big chips and curry sauce, and I like the
oh yeah.
candies as well. They're really good.
Callum will be pleased. Our Pie Hut Supremo, Callum Gostelow, who's done a great job. Must mention another excellent volunteer for us, Callum. He's a character as well, but he's done a great job with the Pie Hut since he took it over. Tracy and Brian Duncan and family did it before. Then did a good stint of 7 years for great stint of volunteering from them. But Callum's taking it on and taking it very seriously, and fair play to him for doing it, because I'll certainly pass that on, Sean, his chips and curry sauce.
Yeah,
They'll be
yeah.
delighted with that. But the pies, Home Bakery, big up to Home Bakery. Their pies are excellent.
Hmm.
Definitely one of the best pies in the league. But I will shout out to Turriff. Last night I had a half. It was a half, folks. Honestly, uh, half pie at half time. I'm telling you, Sean. Honestly, but witnesses.
As a
Um,
climb.
it is, isn't it? Somebody must have beaten me to the rest of that. It must have been why. Probably Neen left. So that was excellent. That felt like it was a butcher's pie, and they're great at Turriff. I mean, what a legend Peril is. Peril's just, she is a Highland League Peril. the kit lady at Turriff. I think she's doing other things now as well, or has moved on to other things. But what a woman! Great reception you get at Turriff as well for the lads and lasses involved there. So they appreciate the pie there. Where else I had a decent pie from? I think now. Wick. Yeah, I think I've got a memory of getting a really good one up at Wick. Yeah, that's probably a butcher's one, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Have you tried? What do you make of Brora's? I really liked Brora's pies recently when I was up seeing them against Killy.
Against Killy, right? Okay.
Mm.
I'm trying to think. Oh yes, I think we had the mini ones
Oh
there,
yeah.
possibly in the. I think because you get the mini ones. Where else have I had the cracking mini ones at? Where was that? That might have been Wick actually. It was. It was. It's mini pies at Wick that we really liked. So, Brora, good hospitality at Brora, very much so. Particularly some of the older guys here are great to have a chat with. Because it's the same at Banks of D, kind of they've guys here that were here when they were juniors way back
Yeah.
in the day. It's always interesting speaking to them. And there's loads of great people involved in the Highland League. So I would go for definitely big up with Turra and Wick for me, Sean.
Yeah. So final question. What's your kind of favorite away day, would you say? Yeah.
Oh, favourite Wadey, that's a good one. Um, that's a cracker. You see, Wick would be in there, but we lost 3-1 just before we won the league, we got battered. So I'm not going to say Wick. I'm going to go for Nairn.
There.
A lot of the players really like the pitch, but I really like the people at Nairn, and I actually kind of got a big liking for kind of this place we went on holiday quite a lot to Loch Loy
Oh yeah.
with the family in previous years, and I just really like the place there, and there's something about it. And it's a really nice ground. Uh, as I said, a lot of the players, when I've interviewed them and I've asked that question, what's your favourite away day? They've said Nairn because of the pitch. But yeah, I would go with that. Really welcoming, and I'll try and forget the defeats we've had there, including especially the cup final one against Brora. When we were on that league winning run and just didn't turn up in the day. But Brora were very good. In fairness to them, deserved it in the day. But it was a hugely disappointing cup final defeat. But aside from that, yeah, we'll go for Nairn, Sean.
Thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure to subscribe on your chosen podcast platform. Join me next time for another interesting interview.